Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are on this wonderful world. It is Tuesday. It is 5 p.m. here in the UK, which can only mean one thing. It is EZ Live. I am Tom Mosley, your host for this evening, and I am joined by the wonderful Windows wizard, Mr. Adam Schofield.
Windows wizard. Thank you
I
very
know, right?
much. I don't know why, but every time I'm really sorry, but every time you do your intro now, all I can think of is Hannah doing it on the video cast that one time, and that's literally all I can hear.
Every time we do video casts now, I usually camera comes on, I take a breath, and then I start.
Yeah,
and that's where Hannah can jump in. So I've now gone right. I can see myself.
Just in. No breath. Just go.
No
Hannah
breath,
will take advantage.
Yeah, pretty much. One day, she will take over the intro completely, and she won't crack up during it. So she'll actually take it all the way through. But hey, we'll wait and see if that day ever comes.
One day.
One day. But Adam, how are you on this wonderful Tuesday?
I'm good, mate. I'm all right. It's been a busy one. I'm a little bit cold in this room, not gonna lie. It's a little bit frosty. The heating's just come on though, so that's fine. And yeah, it's been good. Lots of stuff going on, and that's literally all the detail that I can give. So how are you, Tom? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I said similar to Monday is, as always, as we say on the team, Monday's a write-off. There's always so much to do, calls to go on, things to plan for the remainder of the week. So I thought, you know what, today is going to be a productive day. And then we also recorded the podcast this morning.
We did.
And then I had a couple of catch-up calls, and then it got to 4 o'clock when we joined a call and to plan for tonight. And I realized that today hasn't been overly productive with the things I thought it was going to be productive with. So
I mean, we got the podcast done. That is worth mentioning. In the Loop is back.
Yes.
The podcast is out. A new podcast is out this Friday. With Nigel and now co-host Tom, who has replaced Jer since he's gone on to global pastures.
I know, right? Fancy pants. But yeah, I had an email earlier from our podcast suite to say that it is processed, it's ready to go, so that will be automatically uploaded on Friday. So keep your ears out for that. But that's Friday. Today is not Friday. Today is Tuesday. As I said, it is EZ Live. And I know we've had a couple of people in chat already commenting on what we might be talking about. So we do have the wonderful Gareth Smith talking about, power toys, as paying attention to the thumbnail that we had. Talking about fancy zones. We would definitely be getting fancy with fancy zones later on in the stream. We have
There's a sentence I never thought I'd hear. We're going to get fancy with fancy zones.
I know, right? You never know what's going to happen on EZ Live, right? You never know what's going to happen. We have Games Guru joining us, Daggercass, all of our live streams, saying hello to everybody, and our number one fan, Nightbot, who is here in every single one of our streams over on Twitch. We have got Magnum, and we've got Dave. How are we both from Games Guru?
Is this still a thing? Is this from your your period of Magnum stylized facial hair, and you're still getting called Magnum?
Oh yeah, I don't think it will ever end, and that's mainly due to the Games Guru never not calling me it. And hey, Tom Selleck, I'm not going to complain. He's a legend in the world of film and TV. So
we have Tom Selleck and Dave Grohl, everybody. I think we're doing all right. So
hey, the Microsoft budget's gone up if we can get those guys on the stream.
Absolutely.
I know, right? I know. But yeah, as I said, Gareth Smith has already spoken about fancy zones and power toys. If you're unaware of what we're talking about with that, Adam is definitely going to be taking you through all of those bits and pieces. But overall, what we are talking about today is all around working from home. A lot of us are having to do it at the moment. Us as an evangelist team have been doing it since kind of February, March last year, so nearly a year now of solid working from home. I do want to actually see your face in physical form soon, Adam.
It'll be nice, wouldn't it? I want to do an event. Like I've said this to a few people before. Like pre-COVID, our day-to-day job would not just be live streams and video content. Would do events as well. And the last event we both did was a UCAS thing in Manchester.
Yes. Because that stopped because of COVID.
Yeah, that was the first event. So UCAS, for UCAS, of course, if you don't know who UCAS are, they are the body to do with signing up for university and such. And they do these exhibitions where you can basically tour around all the different universities that are all there. They've got their stands, and Microsoft was there as well. We had a thing on Surface, and yeah, that was the first one and the last one of the entire tour. We did 2 days. This was when COVID was just about started kicking off. So people were getting a bit wary of it, and then literally the next week lockdown happened, and that was the last event we did. I remember saying at that time, like our feet really hurt from those 2 days. We were walking around so much, doing so many demos. I'm like, oh man, these events, they're always a pain. Like having to do these events instead of doing other stuff. I would kill for a UCAS event right now. Like, as much as I'm fine with working from home, and we're gonna go through some cool stuff that you can do to kind of make your work from home habits better. I miss it, man.
Yeah, I miss seeing people. I miss doing events. Even I was speaking to Hannah earlier. Even just going to the office to do work.
Just going to the office.
Or just pop into a local calf, sit in a calf, have a couple of cups of coffee, working.
Doing this stream in front of a giant green screen in a studio that we have, Tom. That would be nice.
Yep, super nice. And supposedly, when we go back to the office, supposedly we're meant to have a brand new studio. So we will come out. We'll come out of our cupboard and into a proper room.
That is the hilarious part as well. Is like inside information for you. When we are eventually allowed to go back to head office, our studio no longer exists. We need to build the new one.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that, seeing people, giving them a hug, and not having to worry too much, or as much, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will happen. But as you said, Adam, in the meantime, we are going to be working from home. So we want to take you through our personal kind of what we do to help us with productivity, whether that's the physical things that we actually use to the applications that we use as well. So what I want to know from you guys in chat is, what are your tips and tricks for working from home? What do you do to be more productive, or just to help you get the job done, whether that's in your personal life or in work life? We would love to know in chat. And Games Guru, thank you very much for the host over on Twitch. Always appreciated. Thank you very much.
I've even got a banner for you. What are your tips and tricks for working from home? There we go.
Stick them in chat. We will read them out. We'll get them on screen. And you never know, you might teach us some things or help us with our productivity. As I said, today was meant to be productive for my own purposes. It was productive for other reasons. So I might use your tips and tricks to help me stay more productive.
All good. So in that case then, Tom, I wonder if we could start with you, because we've kind of like, we've already chatted between each other, like the stuff that we do. And we kind of wanted to base this, rather than just trying to kind of throw demos at you guys that you've probably heard of before and just trying to weave them into, oh yeah, you could totally use this from home. Trying to come up with genuine examples that we have been using since March. So Tom, what have you got for us?
So yeah, mine are more kind of physical aspects, not necessarily different applications that can make you more productive. But there's a couple of Windows features in there as well, and a few apps. But I think for me personally, having a second screen has instantly made me more productive. And if you can't buy another screen, or you don't have a multi-monitor setup, if you have a laptop with a HDMI port, you can connect that to a TV. So if you're working from your lounge, obviously if you don't have an office space or a dining table or anything like that, and you are working from your lounge, by having a HDMI cable plugging into your TV, you can have a second screen. And the way that I use that is I have my main screen that kind of sits in front of me here, and then I've got one slightly to my right. So on my right-hand screen, I'll have all my admin-y bits and pieces. So I'll have Teams open, and I'll have maybe Outlook open, maybe a web browser, and I'll use the snap function within Windows 10 to be able to have those separated within the screen. And then on my main screen, I've got the content that I'm currently working on, whether that be a PowerPoint presentation, training document, proposal for my boss, or anything like that. I've got that on my main one. It's just being able to split it. Whereas having one screen and trying to snap everything gets a little bit smaller, so it's harder to work from. And it means that when I'm working away and I see a notification from Teams come up, I don't have to close down when I'm working and then wait, even though it's a couple of seconds of minimizing and opening another application, I can see it on my right-hand screen. So for me, like having a second monitor or a second screen or a TV that I can plug my device into, that for me works absolutely wonders. And I know it's something that's really, really simple, but that's for me works amazing. Everybody generally has a TV in their house. Some people even have like an older, smaller TV that they've kind of stuck in the garage or stuck in the loft. I'd highly recommend getting it out, plugging it back in again, and just plugging in via HDMI as kind of a basis to help the productivity in my eyes.
I'm going to bring in HelloCam here. Here is HelloCam, also known as another laptop that's on the table. And yeah, I totally get what you mean with the monitors. I used to always be. So the monitor on the right here was the one that I always used for ages. So this one here, I got this one in kind of April time last year, and it's an ultra wide. And then even then, I was like, I can do one more. So I got an ultra wide, and then I got this one as well, so, just because I want to be be overkill with it. But
why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Hello, hello, you're full screen. Sorry about that.
So yeah, that for me is kind of a core thing. I was chatting to Nigel earlier. Actually, we were having our catch-up call, our normal Tuesday catch-up call, and we were talking about monitors and all those bits and pieces. And I don't know how I could work from a single screen anymore. I'm so used, obviously, after a year of doing it, going back to a single screen and working on the go. Working on the go would be so alien.
Sorry, hang on, we got to pick that up. Working on the goo.
Working on the goo. So yeah, for me, that's super important. And alongside that, obviously, if you are buying additional monitors and bits and pieces like that, I've actually upgraded my mouse, keyboard, mouse mat, and headset as well. Mine are primarily around gaming, but because they're meant to be used for longevity or gaming for a long period of time, they're actually super comfortable for me. So my headset is super comfortable. I can wear it all day. My keyboards, the keys are a certain type of key. So they're not too aggressive. It's not too loud. My mouse is wireless. It's just the little things like that. A simple upgrade of equipment can actually make your working from home life so much easier. And it's such a simple thing. And sometimes not overly expensive to be able to do, depending on the stuff you're type of buying. But when it actually comes to applications, there's two applications that I use religiously. Actually, let's call it three applications, actually. The first is actually downloading the Spotify app from the Windows Store. Obviously, other music services are available.
Other music providers are available.
But I use the Spotify one because I actually physically download the app. So instead of using the web-based version, that means I could potentially get distracted. But when I'm using when I'm using Edge Chromium, it's another tab that's open, and I can then get distracted by clicking that and looking what other music's available. By keeping it as an app, it's separate to everything else that I'm doing. I can minimize it. I've kind of hotkeyed my mouse to be able to skip tracks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to then open up the application, get distracted by picking another song, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, for me, having an actual dedicated app instead of using the web-based version is super important for me. And to tie in with that, I have the web-based app for WhatsApp. Other texting services are available. So I have that as a separate app, which means I can actually keep my phone away from me, and I'm not getting distracted by my phone. And I have all my important messages come up directly in my desktop. And finally, and probably the most important one, which I've actually started using from the beginning of January, is the To-Do app. And I know you also use that as well.
Yeah, we've talked about To-Do in the past, and still it's good for to-dos. So
at the start of the week, as similar to you, Adam, I kind of put everything I need to in for the week, and then I kind of work through that list, and then by Friday, hopefully that list is pretty minimal. So they're my kind of core things. Some small upgrades to your equipment can massively help. 2 screens, whether that's a TV and a laptop, or a desktop with 2 monitors, whatever works best for yourself. But yeah, they're my kind of core things that help me stay more productive.
Awesome. We might as well look at the chat, because there's been quite a lot of them dropping in. So I'm going to quickly go through here. We've got Gareth Smith with a great one. One said, when being productive, try and use Focus Assist by the Action Center. Yep, very, very, very much. We'll be talking about that in regards to something else in just a bit. Games Guru has more of a customer-led one. So quick, snappy demo is great to wow potential customer. Absolutely. But which ones, Games Guru, would you use for specifically working from home? Tell us. Gareth Smith, again, another tip: create a personal and work desktop in Task View. I really
like that. I'm going to start doing that.
That is a great idea. I think anyone who is working from, because you got some jobs where you'll have a work laptop, so like that they provide, so then maybe you do it on there. But there will be a lot of people who have everything on the same computer that they use, and that's a great idea. That is a very, very cool idea. What else have we got? We have a request actually. So Christopher Chu, more teams, hints, and tips, please. And a request added to that: how to run a PowerPoint presentation over Teams, or a quiz over Teams. So we're not going to go into like building quiz decks specifically and using them. We are covering Teams a little bit in this, so I'll add that in as a bonus. In fact, we can do that first if you want.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of my ideas that I've got. So I think, Adam, it's now over to you. I'm going to face the right way. It's over to you to talk us through your kind of tips and tricks from working from home and what works best for you.
Absolutely. Before we get into the Teams bit, I know you mentioned To Do briefly. So we'll go with a quick shout out for To Do. To Do, we've covered quite a lot in the past on previous streams. Even we've had an entire podcast dedicated to To Do app. So we're not going to look too much into it today. But one that I find forever useful is to do with you can see here, like when I've got my day and such, and how it is tied in with your Outlook and your emails. So if you use Outlook, be that the online version or the desktop version, you can flag your different emails, and then that syncs up with To Do straight away. So as soon as I flag an email, it will appear in my flagged emails, and also appears if I haven't completed it. This is the bit I love. So granted, we have over here a flagged email section, but every week I do this. Every week I will, the first thing I do on a Monday is I bring up To Do, and everything you add to your day goes the next day. That's it. It's gone, and they will be moved into your suggestions, things that you might not have completed yet. It does the same with your flagged emails. So every Monday I'll get up in the morning and my flagged emails are all there to see, and I can tick off the ones where I'm like, I don't need that anymore. I don't need that anymore. And it's such a quick and easy way to access them, because the trouble with flagged emails in Outlook, especially if you get loads of emails a day, let alone a week, is that you will eventually lose track of those. There is a small kind of window that you can have on the side which gives you a little bit of detail, but it's very small, and for me it's easy to just bypass that completely. It will be there and I'll just ignore it. Whereas with To Do, it's nice and clear. It's in your suggestions. It's like, I forgot about that. And then when you're done with something, also, I don't know why I've got a flagged email that says, "Thank you, Adam, you're a legend." I do not know why.
I was going to bring that up. I was like, did you send yourself an email saying, "Thank you, Adam, you're a legend"?
I honestly have no idea. This might have been from a previous time we talked about To Do. I got someone to send something to me. Not a clue. All I know is that I can tick those off, and then I can add them in, and that's all good. So, are
you the sort of person that's record yourself your own voicemail? You call yourself to leave you a voicemail to be like, "Oh, Adam, you're amazing. Thank you for being amazing."
Tom, I used to be in a singer in a band. What do you think? Come on. So, but yeah, that's that one anyway. And like I said, we're not going to go into To Do too much. We've talked about To Do so much over the past year. I don't think it's necessary for us to go delving into that again. There's plenty of stuff from our previous streams and podcasts as well. The In the Loop podcast, there's 17 episodes so far. Go check that out if you want a nice bit of easy listening. Teams. We had a request for Teams, and we were going to mention it. So let me bring up my relevant windows here. Windows. And sorry, I was really pathetic. And here we have a Teams call, which Tom is on, which I am on, and you can see me. It's dual me. Hello. And there's a couple cool things I want to show you guys. So we did have a request for how to share PowerPoint quizzes directly into it. That is super easy. You can go and share content down here. And then you've got a few options. You can either just share your desktop screens like we do on our stream here. We can share direct windows, or we can go into PowerPoint, and there's an entire PowerPoint section just for this. So it will open the PowerPoint directly into Teams. And what that does is that allows you to share controls with the users. So if you've got something where it's quite free to kind of explore the deck itself, and people can kind of move forward and backwards, people can do that. So if you move forward through a PowerPoint presentation, but someone's not done with the previous slide, they can look back at the previous slide. You got to be careful, because sometimes you can leave the control on where if someone changes it, it changes it for everyone, which isn't ideal. But it's
we've been part of a few training sessions where that's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it is a pain.
It's great for videos as well. I found that when you share PowerPoint presentations with a video in it, and it's a decently sized one, especially if you've got loads of people on a call, the more people you have on the call, the more difficult it is to get a decent connection for video. So doing it via screen capture and having the video play in PowerPoint, 9 times out of 10, super choppy. But if you use the PowerPoint function in Teams, it works really well. So yeah, that's how you do that anyway. So who was that who asked that? Christopher Chu over on Facebook.
Yes.
There's your answer for that one. The 2 bits I wanted to look at just as a quick thing, really. One is a really simple one, and that is the settings of Teams. Someone mentioned it earlier around the whole focus assist. And let me bring up my settings here so I can actually show you this. Oh, can I not bring that over? Have I got anything on this screen that I can't show? Nah, I haven't. We're good. Oh, no, I can bring it over. Fantastic. That's what I wanted to do. So I can go to my notifications here. And what's quite cool is that you can set this, the notification style, to either being the built-in Teams one, which I think in some cases is by default, or you can set it to Windows. Now, the difference when you set it to Windows is it then falls into the Focus Assist options. So then if you turn on Focus Assist on your Windows PC, you won't get notifications from Teams at all. If you have it in the baked-in Teams one, that will bypass Focus Assist.
Gotcha.
So it can work both ways, because sometimes you might want it to bypass Focus Assist, so you only receive Teams messages and don't get notifications from anything else in your system, be that emails, be that your phone, whatever else. But in some cases, you may, which I certainly do, I want it in Windows. So when I turn on Focus Assist, I've got no interruptions. And that is a super, super handy little tidbit right there. So let me remove that back over there. Goodbye Teams window, my meeting for it. So yeah, that's a cool little tidbit. The other, let me bring up my notes here so I remember what I'm doing. This is off the back of a training session that I did with our field team last week, and I was so happy it worked that I have to show you now. So we have in Teams a feature called breakout rooms. This is especially cool if you are working in retail right now and you have to train some of your colleagues sometimes, and right now you're having to do it online. This is awesome. So for any trainers out there or anyone else to give presentations and wants people to go into breakout groups to work on something, so I can click on breakout rooms and I can automatically, so Tom is in this room, I can automatically assign him, or I can manually choose him to go to a breakout room. I'm going to create the room. I just need the one. So that is created. So we're doing that right now. And Tom, I believe, are you sharing your screen as well?
I can share my screen, so that's
there
now
we
my
go.
screen.
There I am. Hello, everyone. It's double me.
Double you.
So if you could just bring up the people section. I don't think you're going to be yeah. All right, cool. Just leave that there. That's fine. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on a feature here. So if I show my window for a sec, you've got something over here where I can add additional rooms, I can assign more participants, or I can just start the rooms. So if we go back to Tom's screen, I'm going to start the rooms. And then hopefully you should have something that appears somewhere to say that you're getting pulled into a room.
Somewhere. There we go. The breakout session has started. It'll be automatically moved in 10 seconds.
Boom. And then yours should just switch and you should just go. So I'm going to wait for that to happen. There we go.
There we go.
So
I'm now in my own room.
Yeah, you're now in your room. On my side, no one's here because I can see that you are in the room that you should be in. So you're all good. Now, if I go back to your stream again, what I can do, in fact, let me share mine again. It's really weird. Double me. I hope you enjoy this. What I can do is I can make an announcement to the breakout room. So let's say I've given people 5 minutes for like a session.
I can be 5 minutes left on my side.
We have 1 minute left. So I'm going to send that to the breakout rooms. And then if I go back to Tom's one, you've now got a message. I
have a new announcement message from the organizer.
And there we go.
We have 1 minute left.
1 minute left. How cool is that? Ladies and gentlemen, breakout rooms in Teams.
As I said, we've had a couple of people talking about quizzes and stuff like that and doing those bits and pieces. Sometimes you want to break your groups in your kind of the whole group of people that are doing the quiz into smaller groups without conferring and stuff like that. So now you don't have to set up multiple Teams calls. You can literally create a breakout room, split the people off into those groups, and away you go.
There you go. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat whilst I'm at it. Games Guru have a great comment actually, which was a heck of a lot of things have changed over the last year. The way we've all had to adapt in such a short space of time is amazing and a testament of how easy technology and software can connect us nowadays. That was a very cool comment. Dave Atkins with a random one: does Teams support Logitech 4K webcams? Sorry for the dumb question. It's not a dumb question. I'm using one right now, so yes. So
easy. It doesn't output in 4K, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So
it's just in HD.
Yeah. So yeah, it will work. It just won't put the 4K resolution in.
Yeah, so it'll apply to whatever you're using. So, but in any case, so back to Teams. So I can now close these rooms, right? So when I click close rooms, let me get back to Tom's screen again. I'm going to close that room, and now you should get that's closing on my screen in a minute, and you should get there we go.
The room is closed in 10 seconds,
and you can't even send. You can't send any messages because it's blocked you, and now you're going to be back with me. So
here I am, and I'm back.
Boom! Look at that.
So easy.
Honestly, I know it's sad, but it excites me so much. So.
But it's something that, as trainers, for us, having something that's capable of doing this, we've wanted it for so long, and it hasn't been there, and now we have something that enables us to do training in these kind of different ways, and is hopefully going to help you guys, whether that's, as I said, doing quizzes with family and friends, or doing training with work and stuff like that. It's super cool.
Exactly. I'm conscious of time because I've got a fair few bits to go through. How are you for time this evening, Tom? Have you got to be anywhere?
Yeah, I've got 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, screw it. We'll do a couple extra things.
Extended easy live.
We got two more things to cover. We are, of course, going to cover Power Toys and Fancy Zones, as has already been mentioned and is in the thumbnail. We will get to that. That's the creme de la cremes. I'm saving that for the end. But one thing I did want to shout out, because we've talked about Teams, and one thing that does get overlooked quite often is Skype. And I'm just going to pull this off screen so I can set up a call with yourself, Tom. Actually, I'm not even sharing my screen, so it's fine. I'm going to call you, Tom, over Skype, and I'll explain why we're talking about this. So give that a sec whilst I do that. Actually, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to change that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to share my screen with audio because this is totally worth it.
Absolute banger of a tune.
Banger of a tune. Hang on. Here we go. Are we ready? I really hope you guys can hear this.
Yep. Right. Answer that.
Oh, mute. Oh. Let's mute ourselves there. There we go.
I'll mute myself there. No echoes.
There we go. And yeah, so there was a couple things that I wanted to look at with Skype, because the whole thing with Skype, again, we overlook Skype quite a lot. I think a lot of the conversation with video calls has been with the big kind of brands, if you like, Microsoft Teams, and then you've got other brands are available. There's certain ones that people talk about, and Skype sometimes isn't in that conversation, but they've actually made so many improvements to Skype over the last year to really bring it up to some of the video capabilities that you have in Teams. So some of that includes the reactions and having the different kind of thumbs up and heart reactions and such. We've got if I turn my video on for a moment, so my video is now on. I can choose background effects, so I can have a blur background effect on mine. I've got various backgrounds that I can choose that you may well recognize from Teams if you are a Teams user. So you've got all those options there. And then the other thing as well that is known for used in Teams, we can't see it right now because there's only two of us, but if we had more people. The other week I was on a family call with my girlfriend, and there's about 10 people on this call, and once it hits to a certain point, Skype has together mode. If you don't know what together mode is, that was something that was introduced into Teams, where it will virtually put everyone in a space at like an auditorium or something like that. On Skype, we had like 10 of us, and suddenly we were just sitting on some wintry steps, and it was
so majestic.
So majestic. It's like, oh my god. So yeah, it is, as I say, a lot of people overlook it. They've fixed. I think on the first lockdown in the UK, we had for Skype, you could only have 4 people on screen at one time. That you can now have a grid view that now expands significantly to a lot more people. And the best part is that it's free. It's free to use for as much time as you like. So it's a cool option out there now. It's
great.
It's improved so much in the last year, which again I think sometimes can get overlooked. But yeah, just a quick mention of Skype there. But I feel like we need to get on to what Gareth Smith in particular has been waiting for, which is a thing called Power Toys. Now, if you don't know what Power Toys is, that's absolutely fine. Power Toys is something that was definitely in the world of Windows years ago, but they reintroduced it last year. And the whole idea of Power Toys is that it's kind of like it's a system that is created by Microsoft and the community as a whole. So let me bring up Power Toys here for a minute. Where's it gone? There we are. Let me bring up the menu for you guys. Yeah, so it's a utility thing. It's all about different tools that you can use. This is advanced user stuff. So you have to download it. If you just look up online Power Tools, it's downloaded through GitHub, which has also got a forum for requested features and reporting bugs and stuff like that. This is very much a preview type thing that's always in development, as always just a play thing for developers and stuff like that. Gareth Smith mentioned earlier he uses it for coding and that sort of thing, and there's some really advanced stuff that you can do with this. We're not going to look at the advanced stuff. We're going to look specifically at things that can genuinely help when you're working from home. So one is Fancy Zones, which we'll look at a bit. We'll quickly explore like some of these different options. You've got things like File Explorer settings, where SVG files, which are scalable graphics. So basically, if you imagine like a transparent image, like a ping image, a PNG. An SVG is one that you can scale and you don't lose quality, and it will preview those files in File Explorer. Tiny little thing, quite cool. You got a keyboard manager, so you can remap your keyboard to your heart's delight. You got an image resizer where you can resize the default size of images and all that sort of stuff. You've got a shortcut guide. I love this. We're going to enable shortcut guide now. And so you can set the different mode for it as well, custom to what Windows is. So if I hold down the Windows key now, there are all my shortcuts, which is really, really handy.
I think it's quite interesting as well, because we talk on the podcast about the A to Z of the Windows keys, whereas you don't always remember them. So having this is a huge amount of help to be able to jump between things.
This is like an optional thing through Power Toys. Like it's made by Microsoft, helped by the community. It's amazing that something like this isn't in Windows. But what's quite cool is you never know, this stuff could appear in a final thing. But more often than not, it's more of an advanced tool that you can use if you want, if you're that kind of user. There's two main ones we're going to look at. We've got Color Picker. Color Picker is really cool. So this is especially cool if you are into design work, if you use things like Photoshop and that sort of thing. If you do anything to do with branding, right? Every brand has their colors. They have their colors that they stick with. We have it. We have a set amount of colors that we have to go with. Windows blue and 365 is now blue as well, and an Xbox green and stuff like that. Everyone has their colors. And what's really cool about this is we've got a shortcut here. So I can go Windows, Shift, and C. And you can see I've now got a little kind of indicator here, which changes and shows me the hex code. So what the hex code is, if you don't know anything about this, every color has a hex code for it. So if you go into creative software and you have a specific color, you can enter in the hex code for it, and it gives you that specific color. Is that your dog, Tom?
It is my dog. I apologize.
It's all good. So now I want to get this Windows blue here, so I can click that. And then it opens up in our little window here, which not only tells me what that color is, but I can also get slight variants of it. I get the hex code for it, all the general information that a designer would need specifically for colors. And then it also has a history of other colors I've got. So which color is this?
You asking me or the chat?
I'm asking you.
I'm going to go for OneNote.
It is OneNote. Yeah, that is the color for the OneNote logo. So yeah, that is particularly cool. And then if I want to select something else, I can just click the Finder again, and then I can click on what this color is as part of the Edge logo. I can click on that. There you go. I've now got part of the color of the Edge logo. So yeah, really super handy for creatives. The last one we're going to look at, because we are overrunning a little bit today, folks, is Fancy Zones. This if you have a multi-screen setup or a big screen, whatever the case might be, if you need one reason to try out Power Toys, it's Fancy Zones. Fancy Zones is brilliant. Like, it is just brilliant. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment because I'm actually going to switch to the other screen. So bear with me one sec whilst I get everything set up. There we go. We'll bring this over here and let's do that again. There we go. Cool. So the reason I'm sharing my other screen is because this is my ultra wide screen, right? And this is where I use Fancy Zones the most. The idea with Fancy Zones, because we of course we know about Snap. Like, Snap's an easy one. Let me just open a random new Word document, and then I can just show it. In fact, I'll open a couple random things, so then we've got some stuff to play with. So let's open up Excel. Let's bring that up. It's all loading on my. Oh no, we're loading on this screen today. There we go. There we go. Cool. So we know about Snap, of course. We just flick there. There we go. That's Snap. And we can do the same thing in two corners. And that's fine. But the thing with Snap, it's great for kind of simple usage of just doing split in 4 ways or split half and half. But then beyond that, it's just usable. Like, there's some cases where I've felt, right, I want something in the middle, but then I want maybe I want my to-do list on the side as well. Maybe I want my emails in one corner, and I want to customize where I can place things. Fancy Zones allows you to do that. So you can launch the layout editor, which you can set up a shortcut for it. So mine is Windows and hyphen?
Something.
And you can see here, I've got my 2 different screens, and I've got the layouts that I have applied for it. So you can see as well, just behind it, you can see you might be able to see the slight lines where it's showing me the different grid formations that is applying. So I could have, if I wanted to have 7 grids here, I could have 7 grids. And the reason I use this on an ultra wide is because you can see, like, the grid that's showing me here, on my ultra wide, it's great because I've got a kind of bigger version of that. So the one I use the most often is probably the 4 split here. So if I apply that and get rid of that, and then, all right, so maybe Word is the main thing I'm working on. So all I do is I hold Shift, and you can see that.
You got your 4 different spaces. Yep.
Yeah, I've got my 4 different spaces, and right now I have to press Shift to do that. But in actual fact, if I wanted Fancy Zones to be the only thing, like I just want to bypass Snap entirely, I can turn off holding the Shift key, and then it means if I move it around, it activates straight away. Cool. If you are someone who uses the shortcut, the Snap shortcut, Windows and the arrows all the time, you can override that and make it go straight to Fancy Zones. So you can have Fancy Zones be your version of Snap if that's what you want to do. But you can see I use Shift, so I'm going to drop that into there, and then I'm going to take my Excel document, I'm going to drop that over there. What else do we have? We've got my File Explorer, which is handily enough already there. So let's drop that into that one. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'll get rid of that though, because just in case. But and then we have. Let's bring up I don't know, PowerPoint, and
let's go through all the Office applications.
Let's go through all of them. Why not? It's the stuff that I can actually show people. So we'll put that into there. You get the idea in any case. And this is completely customizable. I've got mine so that it's all these closed, like everything's close together. But if I wanted to, you can switch this so that it has a slight bit of space around everything as well. So if I bring up my window again, I can show you that. So let's go to Fancy Zones. Let's go to Launch It Layout Editor. And we can show space around zones. And you can see that in the template here where it's got this space now to it. I'll apply that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And so now whenever I go into these Fancy Zones, it will apply to those sections. So if you just like having that little bit of space, so having that little bit of separation, you've got it. And then everything feels just, it's quite a nice aesthetic to it. It might be kind of clear your mind so you don't get confused with what's what. Yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much that. I reckon that is the number one thing I've used.
Getting fancy with Fancy Zones.
Fancy with Fancy Zones. And it's awesome. Gareth Smith uses Fancy Zones when debugging code. So you can see his code issues in Test Desktop. That's very, very cool. DT says on YouTube, that's amazing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Thanks, man.
Cheers, man.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's a good shout out as well. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So Facebook/ExpertZone UK, ExpertZone UK, and ExpertZone Ireland. We're on ExpertZone Ireland today as well, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We are cool. I've just gone a shade of orange as well, which is weird.
And got a
as you do.
suntan while during the stream.
Indeed. And then twitch.com twitch.tv even /ExpertZone UK. You know all that. But there we go. We have overrun today. So I can hand back to you.
There we go. Well, Adam, thank you very much for taking us through your bits and pieces. Hopefully, guys, if you weren't aware of some of the things we have spoken about, hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for you guys, making it slightly more productive while being at home and not being able to go outside to do the bits and pieces that we love doing. So hopefully that has been useful. I've always seen Power Toys, but never actually downloaded it and used it. So I'm probably going to give that a download now and play around with all those features and work out what's
it's super easy. Super easy download as well. As I say, you can get it on GitHub. Gareth added as well earlier, just to shout him out. It is open source. So as much as this is something that Microsoft's kind of put back into the world, it is open source. You can contribute to it. You can suggest features. You can do all sorts of different stuff with it.
There we go.
Which is very, very cool.
Awesome. Well,
if that's your thing,
if that's the thing, yeah. Or if you can just wait for other things to be added and take advantage of all those updates when they actually happen.
Yeah. Also, I keep calling it Power Tools when it's called Power Toys. So if I've done that at all this stream, I do apologize. It's just comes out.
The thing is, Power Toys is a word that we use a lot. Well, it's in common language. So
Power Tools,
yeah. So, but yeah, Adam, thank you very much for taking us through your bits and pieces. Chat, thank you very much for your tips and tricks. As Adam did say, for anyone over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, you've all been great as always. And that's going to be it for Easy Live. Adam, you are streaming again tomorrow with Hannah, playing some games. Easy Level Up.
Oh, we lost you there for a sec, Tom. Try that again.
Adam, what are you playing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we are playing What Remains of Edith Finch, which is freshly been added to Game Pass for PC. And yeah, I played a little bit of it today, and I very quickly realized this is one of those games where I want to hold off for tomorrow. So when we play it tomorrow, the most I would have played of it is around, honestly, 5 to 10 minutes worth, because I very quickly realized this is one of those ones where I want to experience it with you guys. Yeah. It sounds strange to say. It is a walking simulator, basically, which is a really strange term.
But very good.
Yeah, I've played walking simulators before. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is one that I adore. That came out on PC a few years ago. So I've always wanted to play this one. So yeah, myself and Hannah will be playing that tomorrow night, 5 p.m.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, on that note, guys, we will leave you to the rest of your evening. I hope you had an enjoyable time. And until next week, guys, we will see you then. Cheers.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.